Hey there everyone, and welcome to some more community tournament PvP. In this video I'm going to be facing off against Kicknaz in the quarterfinals. Now if you don't know who Kicknaz is, he's one of the big spenders currently in the game. Now there's a few people spending quite a bit, but he's been spending more recently since the release of Mythic Monsters. So he's one of the few people with a lot of awakened mythics, and for that reason he can create some really interesting teams. So this video is packed full of three matches where I'm against Kicknaz, and I have got to say that these matches are probably the closest and best that I've ever recorded. So I'm going to be a little bit excited while going through this commentary. Apologies in advance. And I'd like to say that these matches with Kicknaz as well, while they were brilliant, also throughout the entire thing he was great to talk with. He had a great time too. We had a lot of fun, and he was a really big gentleman about everything. So it was a great pleasure all round. So before we get into the first match, I'm going to start off the way I'm doing this video a little bit differently to the way the others are. So previously I showed the matches themselves, and then I showed the teams and I talked through the teams. For this, because the matches were so close, we had very interesting teams, I'd actually like to talk through the teams first. So that's what I'm going to do for each of these matches. Now this first match was with some new special rules we called the Element Challenge. So in this match we had to create a team which was comprised of one legendary or mythic of each element, one super epic of each element, and then some lower star monsters which could be any elements. So this meant that we were going to be using some of the having a look at some of those lower quality monsters which are kind of useful, and generally the power level is lower. There's absolutely no link really that can be used in this, so it's kind of a case of picking the best monster from each element you have and then trying to make a team out of it. So in making my team, I was trying to construct something clever, and then I realised actually I think I have a team that is using very different elements already, which is my Retribution team. So I pretty much copied that over and then altered the bits which were duplicating elements and tried to make something strong out of it, tried to put it super epics which were powerful and were doing what this team wanted to do. So when you look at it, the front line here is all about Retribution. It's got a Protector in the front line, a Protector in 5th, and then it's got Angel Line which has the Retribution skill on it, and then a couple of sweepers. It's also a bit of a counter to stun because I've got both the stun counter, the stun converter, and then I've got a stun immune give turn not far back. This team is made for PvP, and I would say I definitely had an advantage making this because I already had a constructed team that then I was just able to alter a bit, whereas he kind of had to come up with something brand new. So anyway, going back through the team, later on I've got what was actually originally my testing Polar Boss with the Detox Strike. So I've got the Freeze Cobra followed up by Polar Boss and then Crimzeus. The three of them actually work very well, mainly I would say because of Polar Boss's Stun Pulse. That just gives you a little bit more control in with also the give turn and the stun absorb going on. Like you can actually do quite a bit there with those three monsters. And then I've got the team turn behind, which was actually Mechaviathan, the legendary team turn, but obviously I can't use that with Polar Boss, so I've changed that into a super epic version. And then at the back of the team I have a lot of stun. I really like the combination of Nova Drake and Oak Thulu. They work really nicely together with stun. And my whole aim of this, after the initial kind of stun counter stuff going on, I've then got the pretty reliable mid game, and I'm going to try and open him up to stun, so that then if I do get pushed into the last bit of my team, I can then just stun him for the win really. So that's the kind of main aim of my team. So now to talk about his team. His team starts off with two mythics, and I was really worried in my team, putting Angel Line first, that he would have the XYZ mythic with Time's Up, and sure enough he did. I was really counting on him not putting that in the front line, but he did actually put that in the front line, so that was a bit of a worry for me. And then we've got the very powerful mythic Kureo Kami, which at my time making this video, a lot of people don't know it's been buffed, so the little yukis that it makes, and also when it dies 3 yukis get put next in line, the damage from them has been buffed, so instead of doing just like a reasonable amount of damage, they actually now guarantee one shot everything. They do like 8,000 damage, so those are a big worry. And then also with Dasikian, I think here he's trying to do the strategy of having Yukis with Dasikian, so they're very hard to stop before they get a turn and then one shot something. So he has a protector there to protect that from going on. I don't know the full strategy there with the avionics, but he's got that in there for dealing with something, some kind of stun protection, I guess, for the XYZ, but I'm not sure exactly. And then the mid game looks to the most part to be some very solid epics, and then there's Oakthulu there. So they're just kind of the really good, sorry, not epics, super epics, and he's just jammed them in there to try and get the best value from them. And then he follows into, goes into some poison along with the team turn. Freeze Cobra and the Magatsuo, I'm getting tested on the names here, they're monsters I don't own, so, well, Magatsuo anyway. So anyway, those together are very nasty, and then he's got a couple of monsters at the back, which I'm assuming he's hoping he won't get to. He just like jammed in a 3-star and a 2-star because we have to have them in the team, and he was hoping that we don't get to them. So his team strategy on the whole is the front bit of the team is exceptionally strong. The mid game, you can probably tell by the way I'm saying it, the mid game to me doesn't look quite so synergistic, but it's got some great super epics in there to try and outvalue, and then the end going into some poison. So the match starts off with me going, oh no, XYZ is in there. Luckily I've got the stun killer, and this is partially why I have stun killer in there, but unfortunately it gets blocked by the Bronzoid. He now has a chance to do times up and kill my Angel Lion. However, he's thinking about using Avionics to kill my Diamondoid. He's thinking long and hard about this. I'm going, oh no, you can kill it and then kill both things. But of course, XYZ, because Sabersaw just ended, it triggered the stun and gave Angel Lion a turn. Neither of us thought of this at the time, and it really worked out in my favour because I could kill XYZ with the Retribution. Moving in at this point, I need to get rid of the Dasikian. There's no doubt about that. Dasikian's shield field is going to win in the game if he stays on there, but also Kureo Kami is a huge problem. If I let that do Yuki loads, then it's just going to kill me off, and the sweeping attacks when there's a Yuki on the field are a big issue too. So I need to focus on getting rid of that straight away. And now there's a Yuki on. There's actually 4 Yukis I think next in line. They're going to be coming in shielded, which is a really big issue for me. But his Oakthulu doesn't really have any targets. So I'm thinking at this point, actually, if I just hit all and remove all the shields, I'm also putting Dasikian down below 100% health, so it can't do a full damage confidence strike. And his Oakthulu doesn't have any hits, he'll probably just repulse. So that's what he actually did. And then here he uses a second wind, so I can now abuse that by putting him below max health if I want to. He's got one attack here. You can see the snowball there doing 8,000 damage on Angel Lion. Yeah, it one-shots everything. So I hit Dasikian down below 100% health. That seems like a good idea at this point. He can stun my team. It's going to give Tigron a turn, but Tigron's going to get a turn anyway. But yeah, no, he decides to do that. I think he's going to try to get rid of my Freeze Cobra first before stunning me, because actually that's a very good idea, because my Freeze Cobra counters his Dasikian, so he needs it off the field. And here I'm able to do some pretty awesome give turn shenanigans with my double give turn and this give turn. So I'm able to give Tigron effectively 3 turns in a row. I believe that, yeah, 3 turns where it's 2 attacks, and using that to try and clear out some of this stuff that's here. So he's actually weak to stun at this point, which, because my stun kill is so quick, I'm going to get another turn before Oakthulu gets a turn. So it doesn't really matter if I leave Tigron there ready to kill for his Avionics, because even if he does kill it, his team's going to get stunned. So he doesn't want his Lord's Reign that's poisoned on the field, because it's just going to be useless. He decides to remove that. I have a chance to Detox Strike. Probably go for Oakthulu here. Oakthulu is going to be a problem. It's a really scary monster. So putting that down. He now has a chance to kill something. Killing Freeze Cobra would be a good idea, because then he can stun my team. So he's probably going to do that. Yep, and yep, he does. So load Mortar, that's all it can do. Nice quick turn for that. And now it's a case of, do I want to get rid of Oakthulu or the Yuki? Getting rid of Oak Thulu would be good, but then the Yuki's going to kill something, and it's also going to bring in 2 of his monsters, and I need to control how weak he is to stun. So I decide to get rid of the Yuki, not give him a free kill. And I'm also kind of counting on him doing the poison stun flash, which he does. So now I get a second chance to kill Oak Thulu, which I'll probably take now. As much as I would like to kill the Scarlet Guard, I'm going to try and leave him open to stun as much as possible and get rid of any problems like Oak Thulu when I get the chance. At this point, prime target is actually Polar Boss, because he doesn't want his team to get stunned. He really cannot kill Tigeron, and in fact he said after the match he didn't really consider stun protection enough when building this team. It was only when it came into the match he realised, there's like no stun protection. So it was a bit of an oversight on his part, and unfortunately that is really not working in his favour right now. He can't really kill my Tigeron without giving the game away, and if in fact when my Tezcat gets a turn I'm going to be doing the stun bomb, so he needs to deal with that too. And in fact just right now, because I could have given turn to it, so he had to get rid of that. So anyway, he can now do the very, very powerful blast on everything, which it always surprises me how damaging this is. It kills off everything except for Crimsaeus. And it does stun his team, but he's got Magmarinus out there, which is actually a bit of a problem to me. So his Berserk attack works very nicely in my favour. He just gave me a Magmarinus. And at this point, I would love to be able to stun him loads. So I do. Okay, I do. I completely forgot I did that. So I'm able to chain a couple of stuns together. This is my team now coming together. Chain the stun flashes. I can do a stun burst here. But when it comes to Sea Steed at this point, I realise, if I do the stun burst, I can't actually stun lock him because the Magmarinus is going to hit random targets. So actually, I need to change my game plan here. And instead, I decide to accelerate because I think, okay, an accelerated Magmarinus and Nova Drake probably is a good idea. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on getting kills with Magmarinus and basically try and use that to clear out the rest of his team. So I do that, and I'm scared about what he might have next. To be honest, I don't know why I didn't grab a kill with Nova Drake. I probably should have killed the Earth Super Epic with my Nova Drake first, and then done Magmarinus to get kills. Oh no, I know what I was thinking. Because it doesn't count as a kill on Magmarinus because it's got hold ground, and it wouldn't kill the Freed's Cobra, I don't think. I was trying to make sure that Magmarinus did have a kill to do the Berserk Smash. So yeah, that was the plan. I was being smart. So he got my Magmarinus down. I can't really kill much right now. However, what I can do is Raw Bloodthirst the Magatsuo to put it onto really low health. Oh no. Sorry, that bit's coming up, bit spoiler. Right, so I'm not really too sure where things are going. There's a couple of things stunned. I've only got one Oak through the low, and he's got 4 monsters in reserve. Bit tricky to know what to do here. However, he can't really critical anything for a little while, so I'm not going to be losing monsters anytime soon. I have a bit of control. It decides to poison my Nova Drake. Smart move. I kill off his Scarlet Guard, and now what I'm going to do is grab a kill on Nova Drake, because I need to charge this Raw Bloodthirst if I'm going to win this match. I need a second sweeper. Right now I only have Magmarinus. So I do that. I get Freeze Cobra out the field with the stun burst. And now the really smart thing, which I spoiled earlier, is to put Magatsuo down to low health so I can finishing snap it. That's something which I kind of know from how much damage Raw Bloodthirst does, because I've used Nova Drake for so much. But yeah, so I could do that, and that worked out. Now at this point, what I should probably do is Raw Bloodthirst Lord's Reign. I completely forget that Lord's Reign has low defense, so I could have actually killed it off there, but I didn't want to risk putting it onto low health, so I didn't at that point. He was able to get a team turn off, and he's now got to clear out what I have. You can go to my Nova Drake. Bit of a shame there. I do love my Nova Drake. Nova Drake is my captain in this tournament, actually. as Magmarinus is Kiknaz's captain. So I actually was killing him off with his own captain in this match. Anyway, he did utilise the team turn pretty well, but it was hard to clear out everything I've got. So he just tries to hit me down with the different attacks. But he's going to have a really hard time getting through here because I've got the Camouflage and Willow Worm, and I can spam this Healing Light to heal an accelerated Magmarinus. And just with 2 monsters left, there is almost no way he can get through these 2 monsters because they're just gonna sweep through his team. I don't know how the Berserk Smash missed the Lord's Reign, but you can probably see now I'm able to clear out this match, and Kiknaz saw it too, so he surrendered. So this first match went to me. It was pretty close, as you can see. It came down to the last couple of monsters. Really good match to have with him. This second match is a revenge match. So Kiknaz was the loser, and he gets to choose an element. He chose water, where he then makes a team only made out of water, other than his captain, and then I have to make a team that is weak to that, so completely out of fire, and then including my captain. This match is meant to be lost by me. It's meant to push it to 3 rounds, but there is a chance that I can win with this one. And you probably know already, because I mentioned that there are 3 matches in this video, that I lose. But it is a very close match, so let's have a look at the teams and see what I tried to do. First of all, I was cursing myself because fire is one of the 2 really weak elements that I cannot make a team out of. I don't have many great fire monsters. That said, I do have Asterios, who is one of the best Link Fire monsters. I also have Ahuizard, which is a recent super epic that came out with Counter Strike, and it's got high damage and stun immunity, so that I kind of noted down as probably one of the best sweepers for my team. So what I tried to do here is go for the maximum advantage I can. There's not much advantage I can get facing loads of water monsters, so there is a lot of sleep immunity, and there's also the an epic one-on-one who has high speed and hold ground. So I was like, okay, the right way to do this is to start with a front line that has one-on-one plus sleep immunity. He'll probably hate me for it, but it's the only advantage I can go for. Now, I went with Jackal-Hotep so I could swap out into Shiva Dragon. Reason being is I've got the HP share and the Crescendo Strike, and I'm thinking if I can get the Crescendo Strike going while everyone's asleep, then it might actually get strong enough that it can start doing things. As well as the other option that I was going to put in for Jackal-Hotep was a bit of an annoying one, and it wasn't as good. Plus, I wanted to be able to swap the epic one-on-one out after using the one-on-one, because that was just going to sit on the field and not do anything otherwise. It takes a while to get itself off. So the plan was to do one-on-one, to use both Kami Shogun and the super epic that is the overdrive one to kill off the enemy team while they're asleep. I just kill off the one that's awake. I Jackal-Hotep, switch friend the one-on-one out into Shiva Dragon and get going with that. I was kind of expecting him to use Gaimore in the front line, which has the sleep immunity, insomnia now, and so I was expecting that to be there. That would kill something, and so that would bring in my Ahuizard after the one-on-ones happened, and then I can start using that to use the counter-strike to sweep through his team. That was basically the best kind of tactics I could come up with to give me a chance at winning. And then after that, I've got some Link stuff going on. Normally Link Fire is poison, however poison for one thing is not going to work because poison damage just isn't high enough to kill off water monsters, when there's some weakness there. So I went with sleep instead, and I'm not really using any poison other than the poison revenge from Revolcus. So I'm actually going with Link Fire Sleep, which is very rare that you see something like that going on. But anyway, I've got a few sleep monsters in a row there. I've then got Jingle Dragon, which in hindsight I really wish I hadn't put Jingle Dragon in there. It doesn't really do enough. Even the dual confidence strike is probably not going to one-shot things, and then if he's off max health, he's going to be absolutely useless against water monsters. And then I've got some other things going on. I've got the Revolcus next to 2 monsters which can heal my team, and just generally that heal stuff around Jingle Dragon was hopefully going to come together. Another really big thing which you probably can tell if you're into team building, you'll notice I have no stun protection in my entire team other than a super epic protector stun absorber. Now the reason is I looked through the water monsters, the lists I have on the forum, and I realised there's no stun in water, like practically no stun. So I can take a gamble here and go, okay, I'm going to just ignore stun because I don't think I need to be protected from it. There's going to be some sleep going on, so there's purifiers throughout my team, and yeah, that's what I'm expecting. And sure enough, there is no stun in his team. However, right at the back of his team, there is Huskagon, which does have stunning entrance. Also, there's Ice Fang in the middle, which has stun pulse. But there's not too much stun going on. However, the really big thing to notice when you look at this team is I've got a one-on-one front line, and what does he have? Well, he has 2 camouflage monsters, a sleep immune monster, and a protector with Purify and Overwatch. So yeah, my one-on-one is not going to work, I can tell you that right now. And he has a very, very nasty Link Water setup here with some of the best Link Water monsters. Because a lot of the Link Water monsters have come out recently, they've been featured, and Kicknaz is in his period of spending, he's been able to pick these up. So he has a really nasty Link Water team here. I'm going to go through it, but only quickly. At the beginning, he's got the Blue Maluga, which is going to basically one-shot all my monsters with the Hellfire Mortal, which he can just kind of spam away. He's got a really nasty Protector Sweeper thing with auto-poison, and, you know, sorry, Protector Sweeper thing. Well, I'm talking about Tego Senshi, which can do Assassinate. It can also sweep when they're poisoned and there's next to an auto-poisoner. He has a Protect with the next thing coming with Roaring Entrance and Killing Thing. It will shield his whole team. Then there's the Link Slaybane Ore, then there's Team Turn, and like there's Dolphreeze in there, which is another lovely monster. He only has 15 monsters in the team, but those monsters which he does have are exceptionally good. With the one thing that I would say that isn't so good is Captain Whiskers. It needs a little bit of setup to really get going, but for its cost, it's going to do a pretty good level of pretty good stuff. Now, I am very surprised Koreo Kami wasn't in there. He had Koreo Kami in almost all his teams, so I think for this team he just wanted to try something a little bit different. But I was fully expecting that to be in there, and it's why I actually really wanted to put Kami Shogun in my front line for the Swift Sleep Killer, because I knew that would be good for killing off the Yukis. So anyway, let's go into the match. So to start off this match, I now panic because I realise, oh, he's got an exact counter to one-on-one. So I weigh up my options, is it worth even using it? And well, it's going to put Titanomorph to sleep, so I use it. He does load Mortar, of course. I do the Overdrive because not much else to do. And now I've just got to try my luck, because he's about to sweep like crazy, and I get super lucky with my sudden death, killing his Tego Senshi. That was probably the monster that was going to just tear through my team super fast. So that really paid off, and I get ridiculously lucky throughout this match. If not for that ridiculous luck, I would not be able to pull through. But anyway, so he sweeps through some of my team. I've now got this useless one-on-one that's not really going to do anything. I kind of want to kill it off, but there's not a whole lot I can do, so I just kind of Ultra Flame something. It gets blocked by the Titanomorph and wakes it up. Now I'm trying to work out what I can do here. He's got that Auto Protect that's probably going to, you know, direct the attack towards it. I'm going to get swept by the poison stuff. It's a bit of a problem there. In the end, I decide to go for a Purify because it's just best to take that stuff off. And I need to try and sleep his team. The only monsters I can sleep are Celestine and Titanomorph, so I do those. The Blood Fury manages to get round the Ultra Protect, and thanks to Kami Shogun's Fighting Spirit doing double damage, or double attack, it does still one-shot. But anyway, there's the Hellfire Mortar Rule. It kills everything, except for Ashteros, because Ashteros is surprisingly tanky. And at this point, I do wish I hadn't hit Titanomorph. I should have just not attack, really, with a one-on-one guy, because now Titanomorph is overwatched. But not really a lot I could do about that, so... Now they're all shielded. It's a bit of a problem. I can't really get rid of the shields very easily. So I don't even know what I do here. I look at my team. I think, can I do this in any way? And then just settle for hitting Titanomorph, getting rid of the shield on it, and just passing a bit of time. So anyway, he does another instant load, and I believe... Oh, he goes for Tsunami Mortar. Now I get super lucky with the Soul Blaze, and it sleeps his entire team apart from Blue Maluga, which is stunned anyway. So if I hit Titan Moth, it will wake up and get a turn and be able to purify. So my plan here now is I need to use deathmatch mode in order to kill it off. So I just need to pass a bit of time. To do that, I'll skip and then purify because I need to get past 50 seconds. There's not a whole lot of point attacking with this, so things actually really nicely line up now for me to do deathmatch mode. And then here, I would really like to kill off the Crim Guru, because I'm probably about to heal my team, and I don't really want to heal the Crim Guru because it's just going to sit on the battle for longer. But his entire team's shielded or on 1 health, so I can't actually get rid of it. So anyway, I do that, and then here I'm going to heal all, and then I kind of think, actually I should probably use Ultimate Sacrifice to get rid of Gomorai, because that's going to wipe out my team as soon as it gets a turn. And then here, what I'm doing is I'm trying to stall things as long as possible, because I got 2 monsters asleep and 1 stunned, so I can just about start sweeping through his team. Problem is those are all shielded too, so trying to do stuff is just a little bit tricky, but I've got to try. Now here, a bit of an interesting one. I could Toxic Give Turn to Asterios, but it would put it down, it would poison it, and so it's not really the best position. I could heal, but then I'm healing the Crim Guru, so I decided to just use the Vile Rage to kill it off. Now, what I really should have done was looked and saw that Ice Fang is next in line, so I don't particularly want to bring Ice Fang into the field. And this is where I wanted to get rid of Blue Maluga, and then I realised, oh no, if I bring Ice Fang into the field, it's going to assassinate. So I've got to kind of stall things and get a bit of control. I'm going to try and stealth Volcamus so it can't do the Ice Fang can't do the assassinate when it enters. Now I'm surprised here that he didn't really use the give turn target grenade. He decided to taunt, which is a bit of an odd choice because I would have personally given turn to Blue Maluga, but then actually I can't remember if it's loaded or not. So anyway, he just decided to taunt. Not really going to comment on that anymore. I don't really know what the best thing is. And annoyingly, Shine is awake already. I thought I had longer, but nope, it's awake already. I've now got to deal with that. And I know that Kairu Kenshi is going to wake up very soon too. Now, I want to say at this point, Kairu Kenshi was very, very new. It had been out for a few days, and I knew its moveset, but I didn't know it particularly well. And I completely forgot that it has Link Dual Give Turn, which I should have really remembered because it's quite a key component of it. But in the heat of the battle, I couldn't remember that was a thing. So I now stealth Volcamus, and I've got to try and get rid of this Blue Maluga because that's just going to devastate my team. Plus, I need to be able to stun them because everything's actually weak to stun right now. So he's got a turn with target grenade. He does now give turn to Kairu Kenshi. And he does the Link Dual Give Turn. Now, it's very, very surprising. I want to say he messes up big time here. And it's probably because Kairu Kenshi is so new, he didn't, and in the heat of the battle, he didn't think of it. How he could chain together the Link Dual Give Turn and the Give Turn a target grenade to give turn multiple times to the same monster. He could do that 3 times over and use that to pretty much get through my team. Maybe what he was looking at here was how my Shine was about to enter and finishing snap his target grenade. So it wouldn't really work for sweeping through my team, but I don't know exactly what his thought process was. So anyway, saw a bit of what was going on there. I managed to get around the taunt yet again. That taunt is just not working, and he can't do the assassinate properly. So he's trying to figure out what's best to do with the Ice Fang here. So he decides to repulse my Nova Drake. And sure enough, now I can just finishing snap through some of these monsters. However, Dull Freeze has posed a bit of a problem, because if I kill off any monster now, he's going to have 2 Diamondoids. And this is what I love about the Dull Freeze passive, is that it puts people in a really difficult situation where it's like, okay, whatever I like, I can only remove 1 monster from the field right now. So I decided to remove Dull Freeze because I looked at what I had next in line and I was like, no, Dull Freeze is going to pose the biggest problem for me. Those other guys are on low health, so I can take them out pretty easily if I need to. So I leave it like that. And he's now... well, actually, we're doing a bit of back and forth in turns, so we'll see how things go. What he really needs to get rid of is my Nova Drake, because that still has Stun Wave, and his team is weak to stun right now. but it's whether or not he can figure that out. And he may not realise that my Volcamus is not protecting. I think he may be believing it is. So anyway, he does the step back. Pretty safe move to do. Means his team's going to be protected very nicely. The Karokenshi's definitely getting a turn. Oh, my Volcamus is blocking. Ah, right. So he knew what he was doing better than I was. Right. Except for this dual give turn. He gives turn to the wrong thing first. So now he uses the Assassinate. He's going to be able to get rid of my Asterios. That was his target. And like I said, he wasn't really thinking that I still have my stun wave. So this has given me one little chance to pull it back. And I've only got a few monsters. He's still got more. You should know already that I lose this match, but it gets pretty close here at the end because two of his monsters are actually on lower health, and I can get kills with my Nova Drake and stuff. I've got the Shiva Dragon with Blaze Bones, which is a lovely combo to do stuff with. Annoyingly, he's got two monsters with Finishing Snap, which are a bit of a heavy counter to it. But I'm panicking like crazy, trying to work out how can I win this? How can I win this? He's got the knockback from Gear Croc, which I need to kind of worry about that. What's he going to knock back? And I believe he does use a knockback now. Well, he should do. I would if I was in this position. Knockback is always kind of a good go-to in this kind of situation. So yeah, he knocks back my Bavolcus. It's got one kill with a double Bloodthirst, so it's a bit of a worry. It's got Captain Whiskers coming in next. So I go, okay, I'm just gonna hit that Gear Croc a bit more. I need to use the second wind really, but oh, I've already used it. Reason being because I may go into Finishing Snap territory if I attack anything now. So anyway, I've just got to risk it, and luckily it's not quite Finishing Snap territory, so he can't do that. Plus also the Rockoid may pose a problem if he tries to use it. But anyway, last in line, he's now got Huskergun, which I know has the stunning entrance, and I'm like, the one thing I didn't prepare for was stun. So at this point, this is where I believe I worked this through before making this video, and I tried to work out whether or not I could win, and I think it is doable. What I should have done here was a second charge for energy charge, because if I use any high tier move, and this is my mistake, is Huskergun can time strike Crush, meaning it can kill my Blaze Bones through hold ground. Now I do the clever thing of HP share, so things have got a bit of health, he can't use the Finishing Snap. But at this point I Energy Blast, and what I should have done was, the Energy Charge before, and then just taken out his Gear Croc when none of my team was going to be weak to Time Crush double. So what he manages to do here is kill off my Rockoid, then Time Crush double, and then just, clear me out. So it looks pretty nasty right here at the end, and it's a bit annoying because maybe I could have done it. Yeah, it's pretty tough to work out really for certain how it would have gone. I think the Ice Fang would have posed a bit of a problem, but the main thing is that Blaze Bones would have had a double charged energy burst, which was pretty much guaranteed if I hadn't have made that mistake. But anyway, that was a really close match, great match, and let's move on to the third. Actually, one thing I do want to say pretty quickly before going into this next match is Huskergun is arguably the worst mythic in the game right now. It's a pretty terrible monster by design, and he really should have put in Koreo Kami rather than Huskergun, but he wanted to try it out. And ironically, that is probably the only match we'll see won by Huskergun, and it kind of clinched it for him at the end. But anyway, moving into this next match, the final match and deciding one, it is the Captain's Curse. The restrictions for this are pretty simple. Just use both your Captain and your Vice Captain, and then none of the other monsters can use those two elements. So it works against Link things if you're trying to do something Link with your Captain, which I annoyingly do want to. My Captain, as I mentioned earlier, is Nova Drake, which has Assisted Dusk, and really, well, it works outside of Shadow, but it would be very nice to use with Link Shadow. And my Vice Captain is Lunatic. So what I really went for here was something fun. I just decided to go with some of the combos which are a little less used, but they're not used very much by top tier people. So Lunatic and Soul Blaze, these two had secret skills added which created a combo between them. I don't think I've seen it in any top teams. A couple of people have tried doing something with it, but here I was like, okay, I'm properly going to try and make this work. Now, to make this work, I was thinking, okay, the two of them, they're very slow speed. you've got to also have some stun protection. So I try to come up with the most viable way of setting them up and getting at least one Soul Blaze second Dawn off. And the way to do that is to put Diamondoid in the front line and then an Auto Protect next in line. That was pretty much my way to do it. And then Bloom and Luger for the stun protection, because with the camouflage and the shielding from loading mortar, that's just the most reliable way to put a bit of stun protection in there without making any weakness in your team. So this team can very reliably get one second Dawn off, meaning there are two Soul Blazes, meaning there's going to be some sleep going on them, sleep going on the enemy team as they kill off the Soul Blazes. However, if you can't ever come up against the combo, the one to get rid of is Lunatic, because as soon as Lunatic's gone, the Soul Blaze cannot duplicate it anymore. If you go for the Soul Blaze, there's the risk that the Sleep Revenge is going to mess you up and just leave them to just sweep through your team and give you bronze shells, and everything goes mad. So anyway, this team is all about abusing that combo. Well, the first half anyway. So we've got we've got the Water Cannon, which is one way to knock back from Bloom and Luger. Also in 6th slot we have Ice Fang, which I think this is the first team I've actually used Ice Fang in. So I got it at New Year. But anyway, it's got Raw Repulse that I'm going to be using to knock back something. And then, actually I think that's the last knockback in the team. But anyway, we're going to be doing a lot of knockback, and then also going into then a bit more stun protection, a bit more sweeping, and the team turn there to try and get things rolling in the middle. I tried to put a bit of stun counter stuff there in the middle with the team turn to really punish him if he's got any stun going on. And then after that we've got Dull Freeze, which is going to protect those sweepers very nicely, to try and help things get working. And then towards the back I've then got Poison and Stun. So the way I've got that in there is with Bavolkas. First of all, has the Poison Revenge. He kind of needs to get rid of that Bavolkas too. Even though there's no particular synergy between Bavolkas and the other stuff around, like if I put them to 1 HP, it's not really going to be that great. The Poison Revenge on there is hopefully going to be enough to set up what's coming next, and that is the stun from Oak Thulu and just generally the poison there. And then I've got stun from Nova Drake. I've then got stun from Blossomite, I believe it's called. When it's combined with Dracorosa, it can spam this stun blitz. Basically, it's like a stun flash, but it's much faster, so you can chain them together. And then also I got Dracorosa with the secret skill. So again, this is the other combo I'm trying to pull off, is Dracorosa secret skill with one of those fairies. So anyway, I thought it'd be a really fun team. At this point, I was like, I may not go to the last round. This may be my final match, so I'm just going to go with something very fun that's trying out some new things that is hopefully quite potent. For Kicknaz's team, he went with pretty much a Link team, but Link Storm, and then with some Earth stuff in there. It's not so much Link, but there's a bit of Earth there in the middle. Now, this Link Storm team, it has the very fast Link Stun Flash from Drakazord. Yes, Drakazord. And then also he has the XYZ that's a wonderful counter to any kind of stun converter, stun counter in the front line. Basically any chrono monster you can sweep to very quickly because it's high speed. And then so that combined with Drakazord is very nice for clearing out stun protection and then stunning the team. Plus also he has the Bundum, which is a very high speed monster that can Terminator form and then Power Slash to clear out something as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Also, Gavbane, which is another high speed monster that can stun pulse and everything. So he's got some pretty crazy stun stuff there at the beginning to clear out stun and then stun me, which then he's going to hopefully try and chain into some bronze shells. And that's something I didn't really talk about when talking about my team, is it's kind of a crazy bronze shell team, similar to what he's doing, which is bronze shell and bronze shell abuse. So here what we've got is a combo that has been I believe it was Unknown who originally said it, but he got the idea from me when I was talking about he saw it in my team using Voodoo and then Oak Thulu later. Not Oak Thulu, it was the Dracorosa. So basically what that is Voodoo coming into the battle and putting two Voos in their team that have the poison move. And then Dracorosa comes in, and it has Defang, which can do critical damage if one of the enemy monsters is a poison monster. Because I've literally put the poison monsters in their team, it kind of sets up the Dracorosa very nicely. Now I actually put that in my team to set up Oak Cthulhu, because if they use the poison move, they poison their team, and then I can both do dual poison siphon and also stun their team with my Oak Cthulhu. But that kind of setup for yourself works very, very nicely. So here in his team, what he has is the Motor Dragon, both with the entrance thing and also then the Swift Unwanted Friend. He's got the secret skill on it. They are fire monsters, and so having the Canny Shogun just a little bit later on means the double counter strike is going to be set up because he's got I've got fire monsters in my team. So anyway, that kind of thing's very potent, and I do think it's very clever, and just this front half of the team is very well thought out. It's a very nice team. And then he's got Angel Lion in there, Dolphreeze, Sakurilisc, Sanctu Stag. Like, he's got some brilliant PvP monsters going through that middle section, with stun protection, sleep, sweeping, everything you want, and then going towards the back, still more very powerful monsters. That super epic auto protect give turn is very useful as well. And then he's got Magmarinus. So his his captain and vice captain are Magmarinus and Dolphreeze, as you can see here, which he was annoyed here too, because he really wanted to use his powerful water monsters that he used in the previous battle, but he couldn't use them because of the restrictions. So anyway, let's get into the match. As this match opens, I'm like, please don't have anything that counters what I'm trying to do here. He has a lot of fast monsters. Immediately start sweeping. He actually took barely any time to take that, make that first decision. He's able to do the Link Stun Flash to take my Bloomaloo out the field. However, he can't quite get to my Lunatic and Soul Blaze. So, well, actually he could have with that instant knockback next, but he decides to do the Cobalt Coating because he really wants to keep XYZ in the field. Now here's where I go, okay, I'm going to have to take some of these monsters out of the field. He's already done the Protect with Jackazord, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can go down a control route. Maybe I can repulse that Drakkazord and then basically leave it for most of the match, because I'm also looking at Motor Dragon, and Motor Dragon is one of those monsters I try and keep on the field. So between the two of them, maybe I can try and do something to do with that. So anyway, I do the second Dawn. I now have the knockback stuff, so I decide to get rid of the Bundum. Because XYZ isn't going to do too much to me. I can kind of leave that on the field for now. So he, I didn't actually just see what he did. Oh, he sent back his thing. So now I've done the Lunar Burst. I've got another knockback, but I decided not to do it. Instead, I'm going to take XYZ out the field. That's why I didn't knock it back, because I knew I could stun it. And so between those two knockbacks plus the stun pulse and that fast strike, he couldn't do anything there. I was able to take complete control, and that's where low speed monsters can be good. Low speed monsters, typically they're made low speed because they have a lot of control in their skills, and that was a brilliant example of it right there. I forgot to say earlier when talking about the team, I really wanted to pull off this combo, the Lunatic and Soul Blaze combo, and just generally some crazy Bronze Shell stuff in one of my matches, which is why I did in this match, because I thought I'll probably be going out, let's do something nuts with Lunatic and Bronze Shells. So anyway, he's going to be spamming that Purify Mist, which is very annoying for my Assassinate. So I'm just going to remove stealth from a couple of things here. He made another Motor Dragon by getting rid of a Bronze Shell, which was beautiful, but also very annoying. So anyway, I'm able to take out his Angel Lion here. Definitely a good idea, and I'm going to be leaving Motor Dragon on the field because he's even used his Swift Unwanted Friend now. He's put 7 Bronze Shells into my team, but I'm just going to deal with it. I'm going to try and do stuff. Also, another thing I actually didn't mention about his team is the XYZ is in there to abuse Bronze Shells too, so he's actually massively abusing Bronze Shells, both with XYZ and also Cannon Shogun, because the Cannon Shogun is going to use them to kill my other monsters, and the XYZ is going to stun them as they come in, so it's going to delay how long it takes me to get rid of them. Now, as it turns out, I have Blue Maluga, so it's not actually doing that, but that was the general plan there. So anyway, he's managed to get back to Dull Freeze, and I've got a couple of bronze shells on the team, which are very annoying. He's also knocked back one of my Sword Blazes, which is extremely irritating. So he's also got double Drain Survivor charge now, which is a big annoyance. Things aren't looking so good for me right now. He's got some charge sweepers, and he's going to start mowing through my team. And each time I get rid of a bronze shell, like now, Blue Maluga gets stunned just a little bit more, so it's not quite getting its turn. But I need to get rid of these bronze shells to get to my team, otherwise he's going to start sweeping through the ones which I can use and just leave me with bronze shells, so I just got to try and get rid of them as quickly as possible. Now here at this point he decides to get rid of my Blue Maluga, which is probably a good plan. However, I actually have Angel Line coming, so it's not really going to do much. Here I was extremely surprised that Fast Strike didn't kill XYZ, because I forgot that it had doubled its defense. Anyway, at this point I'm trying to work out, okay, is it worth getting rid of the bronze shells? Because I've got a team turn coming in and Dull Freeze is going to kill off my monsters. But I figure actually it is a good plan, because he's going to be killing off my monsters anyway, that actually it's just better to get through my team and get to my useful monsters that I can actually use, rather than trying to delay things, because delaying is going to work in his favour. So anyway, he can do the the times up on my Mechavarthan now, but he decides to get rid of the well, so times up doesn't really kill Mechavarthan that much, so he pretty much had to kill the Psychosar. Well, I had to kill something and then bring in my Valzrain, which was going to get a turn. Anyway, moving on with this match, I get a team turn off now. I've actually got some sweepers out in the field as well. It's a well-placed team turn, if I didn't say so myself. And now I can try and get rid of this stealth, get through the Daimonoids, and try and actually take a bit more control. So I can do the dual poison touch. I can't instant shield ally because I'm going to then skip behind Daimonoid. So I use that to get rid of the last Daimonoid on his team. Oh, sorry, skip behind Daimonoid, I mean skip behind Mechavarthan, so I wouldn't be able to give turn to Dull Freeze here. And then I use the times up to get rid of Dull Freeze. So now it's a case of tides have turned a bit. I've now got the potential to start sweeping through the two monsters he has out, and it's just a case of, will these be good enough to fight off my team? Because all he can do right now is keep Purifying Mist his team and knocking back next with Motor Dragon. Charging that Bloodthirst on Motor Dragon is so hard to do. So anyway, I get rid of the Sanctus Stag because that's going to be the problem. Petalisk only has a single repulse, so it can't really do a lot here when there's Daimonoid on the field. He decides to do that anyway, and now I can do... I could do times up targeting both Tigron and Petalisk, but Petalisk isn't really an issue for me, so I'm just going to keep it on the field. Oh, in fact, sorry, no, it's stealthed, isn't it? I was also looking at how best I could use these two monsters. And it was best to try and use them in the order I did, and now give turn to Dull Freeze. His Petalisk isn't going to get a turn for a while, so it's not actually an issue. And now what I can do is I can skip Confident Strike Valzrain and then use Blizzard on the Auto Protect to get rid of the shield, and then still kill it before it gets a turn. Plus, it's not even stealthed, so yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do here. I'm just able to sweep through these monsters which he has. And then also, my Valzrain is going to be nicely lined up just behind to take out the next monster. Except, of course, he's going to put it below maximum health, but you know, wishful thinking. Times Up is luckily powerful enough to get rid of that Protector, even though it's got some quite good defense. And not only this Purify Mist is quite powerful, I find it very annoying, but I'm definitely in control in this match. It's going very well for me. So I decided to get rid of that Petalisk now. I can't remember if there's stun or not. I probably should have checked, but you know, it's probably a good idea to get rid of it before he's now going to sweep through a couple of monsters, get further back in my team. Here I was actually tempted to give turn to the Daimonoid, because then I can get rid of the shield and the stealth and then kill off the bronze shell when attacking the Illuminoid. I do need to get rid of that shield, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to kill off my bronze shell. But I wanted to get a bit of Magmarinus more, so I tried to do the Slayerbane there. I think that's what I settled for in the end. Rather than, I would have given turn to Daimonoid otherwise. So yeah, anyway. Deathmatch mode would be a terrible idea right now. I've got to try and hit that Magmarinus. So yeah, here we go. Second try, and I do get it this time. He's brought in my stun, which is going to work out pretty nicely considering he can't do a whole lot. However, he has got this Magmarinus, which is gonna have a turn. But you know, things are going to go my way now. He can't really protect himself from anything. So he just does a Berserk Smash, goes for it, his team gets poisoned, and there we go. I can stun wave. So we're coming to the end of this match. As you can see, I pretty much clear out. There's not a whole lot he can do anymore, so he actually just surrenders and gives it to me in a few seconds. So yeah, great matches with Kicknaz. I loved all three of them. I thought the teams that were created were really clever. Doing some very interesting things. It's really hard to talk about someone else's strategy and what they did when they're making their team, but I think of this third team I was able to talk quite a bit about it, and the previous teams hopefully you could see what he was doing there. Some good stuff. I really enjoyed these matches, and I managed to win overall, so I'm into the semi-finals. We're going to be doing the semi-finals pretty soon, and then I'm going to be bringing out my videos from those. Do go check out other people's videos from this tournament. I hope you will enjoy the content, and I hope you've enjoyed the commentary in this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.